Hey everyone, hope you've had another great week. Now, this is a topic that hits home to me. This is the idea and concept that most doctors don't struggle at home because they don't care. They struggle because they're just exhausted. Now, if you've ever felt like work gets the best of you and home seems to get whatever's left, this episode is for you. Today, I want to talk about how to get back on track at home, not by being perfect or giving up your career, but by understanding what's actually getting in the way. So stay tuned.
Welcome to the Passive Income MD podcast, where we talk about creating your ideal life through multiple streams of income. If you enjoy hearing about this stuff, make sure to hit subscribe. Now let's get on with the show.
All right, everyone, this week's episode is probably more personal than anything I've done for a little while. I mean, this is a hard thing for me to talk about, and I know it's a hard thing for doctors to talk about. Again, not because we don't care about our families, because we care so much. I think we all know why we're doing what we do, but sometimes it's hard to say or talk about. And I want to say this clearly before we start. I don't have this all figured out. This has been a journey for me, and being part of this community, and many of you have helped me along the way. My wife has helped me with this, and it's stuff I'm learning. Some seasons I'm better at this. Some seasons I miss in a big way. So if you're listening to this hoping for a cure-all, a perfect formula or algorithm, that's not what this is about. This is more of a conversation today. One doctor talking to another, and maybe it'll resonate with you. Now, here's something that I've noticed over time, again, both in myself and in other physicians, like we're trained to hold it together at work. We have to feel confident, know what we're doing in front of our patients, in front of our staff. We manage stress, we stay calm, we perform at a high level, no matter how tired or exhausted we are. But then when we get home, that's kind of where the guard comes down. That's when people see behind the curtain when we're exhausted or overwhelmed, or maybe you're just carrying a lot mentally. That's usually where it shows up at home. Again, not because we don't care about people there, just because we're depleted, we're tired, we're exhausted. We might act more impatient. We might seem more distracted. Our tempers are shorter. We say things that we shouldn't say, and we're physically present. We're there, but mentally, we're somewhere else. It's not that home gets the worst version of us. It usually gets like the most honest or maybe authentic version of us in that moment without like a mask. And that can be hard to sit with. Now, if you listen to my past two episodes, this is where I think it connects directly to this one. When time feels tight or your energy feels tight, everything feels rushed. When money feels tight or there's pressure there, there's some anxiety and it follows you home. Even when you're not talking about work or finances, the pressure's still there. For me, I get that feeling right in the middle of my chest. It's not really quite heartburn. It's a little bit higher than that, but it's just this low level, weird, tight feeling. And I end up being on my phone a lot more. I end up thinking about what if or tomorrow. When somebody's talking to me, I'm like half listening to them. And over time, I believe these relationships have challenges, not because of like one big moment. They just erode quietly just from not being present. And that doesn't mean you're failing or I'm failing. It just means sometimes the system that we're operating in, the way it's set up is not set up in a way that's conducive to creating incredible relationships. And this feeling of not being present is something that took me a while to understand. And still, again, I have challenges with it because it still feels like I'm there. I'm there right in front of you. What do you mean I'm not present? But it's that feeling of distraction where your energy and your focus is off somewhere else, even though you're physically in one place. Hey everyone, I wanted to let you know that PIMD Con 2026 is coming up. And whether this is your first time hearing about it or you've joined us before, here's what you should know. This isn't just another physician conference. PIMD Con is the event for doctors who want to expand what's possible, not just in medicine, but in business, investing, and life outside the hospital. This is where physicians come together in person to build real leverage, to learn what's working, and to connect with people who are actively doing it, forming real connections that turn into partnerships as well as long-term opportunities. No fluff, no theory, just practical strategies and powerful conversations that continue long after the event ends. PIMD Con 2026 is happening September 24th through 26th in Dallas, Texas. If you want to get in the room with the right people and build what's next, join us in Dallas this September. So I think one of the biggest mindset shifts for me has been realizing this. It's not about being home more. It's about being available when you're home, to give yourself space when you're at home to be there for your family. And I believe you don't need to quit medicine to improve things at home. That could put a lot of pressure on you. You just need to have less rushed moments, less mental spillover into your evenings, ways to wall things off or at least kind of segment your energy and leave it at work. And when you're at home, you're able to be present. And again, being present for that quality time, anybody will tell you that means more than just being there for however many hours and not really in the same place mentally. That short window of connection where we can pour into our family, our partner, our kids without being distracted, I think it matters so much and people recognize that. And when I realized that it's not about the number of hours, I didn't have that pressure where I need to, cut too much time of what I'm doing. I just said that when I'm there, I want to make the most of it. And I felt like there was a way to optimize that. Now, I want to share a few of the things I've been trying, okay? I haven't mastered this. So take what helps, leave the rest, see what makes sense for you. First, I've tried to create a little bit of a transition. Now, I happen to do a lot of work now from home. Now, I haven't worked clinically in medicine for a couple of years, so a lot of the work I do is virtual. And so when I'm at home, it's hard to sometimes create a line between work and family. So what I've learned to do is when I'm done for the day, I don't just jump over to my family. I get up, I take a walk. Usually I'll walk the dogs and let that be a transition time. For many of you getting home from work, you walk in the door and the first thing you do, you just want to take the load off, but you're already thrust into the madness and craziness. Maybe take a moment when you get home, sit in the car for a moment. Listen to some music, take a quick walk around your house outside, then transition into the home. And that's worked for me. Second, I'm trying to protect a few rituals. For example, at dinner, we tell people don't be reading books, don't have your phone out. This is family to family time and we talk. We tell each other about our days. It's consistent and we all know that we'll meet each other in that place. Also at the end of the night, we also have a ritual like this, where as a family, we each talk about the 3 things we're grateful for that day before we sleep. We share it with each other and my 2 kids right before they go to sleep every single night. And even that ritual helps connect us in that moment. And we stay consistent with that my whole kids' lives. So there's no question that they're going to do that at the end of the day. Third, I've addressed a lot of this pressure head on, and that's helped improve my relationships. What I mean by that is the pressure of time and money. When you can start solving those, your patience goes up. My patience goes up. I have more capacity to be an understanding, good human being. And finally, I learned to give myself a little bit of grace during heavy seasons. Not every time will be perfect. Sometimes you're stressed over certain things, especially around tax season. I'm not perfect at this. I run into challenges and I tell my family, I'm sorry, I'm dealing with a lot right now. I'll handle this. Give me some moments and then I'll be back. I think just being honest in that way and not acting perfect has gone a long way for them and has allowed them to see what I'm actually dealing with. And they'll give me the time and I'll do the same for them. Again, when you run to hard seasons, that's just being human. And again, success at home is not being perfect. None of us are. It's not about never being distracted or never snapping at anyone or being impatient. It's not always about being fully present. I mean, sometimes just noticing. Then you repair faster. You snap yourself out of it faster. You show up again faster. Again, realizing this is a long game. Of course, I believe our lives are short in a way. We got to maximize every moment. In a relationship, I believe it's not built over one day. It's built over years and months and whatever it is. And it's built through a lot of ordinary moments, through rituals, through habits that are imperfect, but you just keep working on it to get better and better. And you make progress. So I'll leave you with a few questions to sit with this week. Where do you feel most disconnected at home right now? Or when does that happen? Again, what moment of the day feels the most rushed? If you showed up with just a little more energy or presence in what area of your life, what would that do and what would that change? Again, you don't have to fix any of this immediately. Just start to notice, have this in the back of your mind. And it's amazing how when those moments come up, you'll start to make small shifts. And hopefully you'll start to see the impact of those shifts. Now, in the past couple episodes, I've talked about making space in your life, about time, energy, creating that margin, showing up better at home. At the end of the day, I know we all know this. At the end of our lives, no one wishes they worked more shifts. They wish that they were more present for the people they love. And so getting back on track with all this stuff isn't about doing everything perfectly or doing everything better. It's just about creating a little space for what matters the most and being intentional about it And just remember, this is a journey. You and I are both on it. We're trying to do better every day. And hopefully, as a community, we're here to support you along that path. However we can help and support you, please let us know. Have an amazing week, and let's hug again soon.
Enjoy the show? Let me know by dropping a review in the podcast app you're listening to us in. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe. Join thousands of physicians who are also on this journey to creating their ideal lives through multiple streams of income. Learn more at our website, passiveincomemd.com. Thanks again for allowing me to be a part of your journey. See you next time.